Duke. We flushed out a couple of those infiltrator units you were talking about. There were some casualties, but the units are dead now, and we haven't seen any more.
Good to hear, Jane. I've shut down the factory, so we may have seen the last of them.
What's your current location?
I'm not sure, but I hear ships of some sort taking off in the background, so I'm headed to check it out.
The word from the front lines is that the aliens are pulling out now that Silverback is dead. I'm afraid they're taking all the captured Resistance members with them and have something nasty in store for Earth.
There's no way I'm letting anything happen to this planet, Jane. Keep me informed, and I'll let you know what I discover. Duke out.
Hey there everybody, and welcome back to more Duke Nukem Land of the Babes. I do want to make a quick correction.
What a
In the
mess.
previous video, I was saying that the enemies we were facing were the Big Ape Core. Actually, that is a mistake. The enemies that we are facing on this stage, that Doc Salvage has to do absolutely nothing with, they're actually the Big Ape Core, and the enemies on the previous level were actually Gorilla Core. So please understand that I am not Jane Goodall, and I don't understand every intricacies of different monkeys, especially when they are genetically mutated to be maybe anthropomorphic or larger than normal, or just flat out wrong. So, getting back to the stage proper, as I'm kind of getting lost in the hubbub of all that is going on, we are in what is called the junkyard, but is actually some kind of spaceport for the aliens, and they apparently are hightailing it out of here now that Silverback has been killed. But we obviously can't let them go, as, you know, we're very clingy. We have to hug as many wild animals as we possibly can. In this case, we are hugging them by first shrinking them into portable fun sizes and then stomping them in the face. I will say, for the most part, it's best to just try to rush through these starting areas, as there are a few enemies that are up higher than need be the case, and really they take more damage than necessary. Especially some of them are just completely, you know, hidden in darkness and just will not die. And especially at this point, I'm actually kind of running low on the weapons I like, such as the freezer, so kind of having to resort to weapons that really just don't cut the mustard anymore. I mean, the enemies end up, these particular enemies end up firing really fast, as I think they have the mini laser Gatling gun, and it will rip through your health pretty quickly. And unless you have something that can stun them or just instant kill them, yeah, you're gonna be in a bind pretty quickly. But thankfully we have some Babe Core to kill fairly easily. That gets us back some health. And thankfully they are pretty reasonably killed with the shrinker. I decided to show that off due to the fact that I was actually running out of freezer ammo for the most part. So now that we are kind of in the interior base for the launch pad for the alien spacecraft, we get our first introduction to what appears to be a very large electrical barrier. We're going to need to flip some switches to turn that barrier off. Thankfully they are relatively nearby, otherwise this video would be unnecessarily longer.
Just getting started.
But we just need to shimmy up this ladder. The first switch is actually not too difficult to get, as we'll see in the very next room. If we look down to the lower right hand side, we will see that there is a pipe, and if you attack the pipe, the water will fill up and allow you to access to the switch. But first, we're going to get our first secret of the stage. It's actually kind of useful because it is some armor and the quest item, which allows us some extra health, which is always good. But yeah, we're just going to go ahead and flip the switch.
All too easy.
Pure excitement. But we do have one more switch to hit, and it's pretty much in an almost parallel room to this one. So good job on creative design there, in space. I will say, with the... If you are running low on ammo, there are quite a few of these green destroyable boxes. Not all of them. I wouldn't even say a majority of them actually have anything in them.
You want a piece of me?
Honestly, most of the time it's not ammo you really want. Sometimes it's handgun ammo, and by this point you do not want to use the handgun. It's a massive waste of time. But now that we've gotten to this other room here, we'll see there's a lot of electricity. You can apparently fill the water up, but it's pretty much going to get you killed.
Damn it. I'm an ass kicker, not a switch flipper.
I actually like that line quite a bit. It's still going along with basically ripping off Bones from Star Trek, but it's at least somewhat entertaining. And I'm just basically wanting to get ready here because there is something mildly dangerous coming up. Not incredibly dangerous, but suitably dangerous. It's always good to be ready for the unexpected. That's what the Boy Scouts taught me. And also something about praying. I honestly didn't know they were a religious organization. But as you basically want to make sure and kill these babes before you actually head down past the barriers, as you'll see in a second.
That's what I call a magnetic
Because
personality.
after you walk past the barrier, it's boss time with boobs. Yeah, this is Mother Brain, not from Metroid, but from some odd perverted fantasy. It's like a really lazy H.R. Geiger, but before I run out of time, each tit fires lasers, and after you destroy both, you just gotta aim and kill it.
About time I pulled the plug on that electronic bitch.
I will say the one actual difficulty of Mother Brain is that the auto-aim does not actually work. So if you are kind of dragging your feet about attacking it and actually getting attacked by the boob lasers, they actually do a reasonable amount of damage and they actually home in fairly well. So really, you want to try to kill it as quickly as possible, and for killing it, we not only get 100 health, but this barrier back here is actually lowered. Also, I don't know why or who thought that boob machine
Now that's what
Contra
I'm talking
ripoff
about.
was a good idea.
I'm a one-man wrecking crew.
You know, with that close-up from the cinematic just there, I really cannot
This
speak
was
enough
best.
about
Die like the
the
rest.
high-quality texture
You guys
graphics
suck.
for some of the things in this game. Like, I really thought that was an action figure, and having it much larger was great.
Whoa, what a rush.
So that was completely unnecessary, but, you know, Duke seemed to enjoy it. And I hope you're ready for a bunch of these fucking big apes, because they are coming out in droves. The one kind of annoying thing about the Shrinker is that opposed to the Freezer, the Shrinker will still aim onto guys that are already shrunk.
Chew
But
on
thankfully,
this.
even when a guy is in the middle of growing back to normal size, you can actually still kick him to death, which is fairly nice. But yeah, they really filled these hallways to the brim with these really annoying monkeys, and if you didn't get a good idea that they could possibly be dangerous before, this hallway is a good indication of that. But by blowing up those boxes right there, we reveal the final secret of the level, which is a nice armor that we do need. And by accessing these doors over here, we get a spacesuit,
Nothing like a fresh change of clothes.
which we are going to need as we are going to be heading out into space. Also, after grabbing that, it does spawn a few more enemies, but honestly, I'm running out of Shrinker ammo, so go back to Old
You want
Faithful.
a piece of me?
We call it Frosty. It keeps you frosty. It freezes. It it has a corncob pipe and a button nose.
That hurt
Yeah,
you
I
more
can't
than it hurt me.
really overstate the fact that just some of the weapons are a lot better than others. I would
This
say
should allow
about
me to access one of
2
those
weapons
ships.
are greatly better than every other weapon, but ambush. Yeah, that could be a pretty dick ambush if you're not
What a
ready for it.
mess.
But thankfully,
Holy crap.
I am. And by taking the teleporter, we're not actually done yet. We actually have to get to the ship, and there are a few enemies, but you know, fuck them. Because this is the end of level. We'll see you next time for more Land of the Babes.
Up, up, and away. Time to put an end to this alien scum once and for all.